I Am Legend.
Okay. The
The
name.
movie, the name is I Am Legend. The movie is about there are supposed to have found the cure for cancer, but there was a lethal consequence, the chupasangres.
Okay.
It's
There was
a
a virus or yes, a mutation.
mutation.
Mhm.
Um, it's set in Puente de Brooklyn,
Brooklyn Bridge, in the Brooklyn Bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge.
Mhm.
It's the ay, es que me pongo nerviosa.
Take it
Is
easy. Directed.
directed by Francis Lawrence.
Okay.
The stars of the movie is in United States on December 90 to 107.
Mhm. In this case, we talk about stars, actors who star the movie. Who is the star in that movie?
Will Smith.
Mhm. The stars in the movie is Will Smith.
Ya es que pensé que era cuando se estrenó. A ver.
Okay.
She played a scientist
Yes.
in the cure of the plague. Uh,
Okay. Scientist.
one of the best
And
friends. Ay, perdón. One of the best scenes takes place when he gives her leave to save the cure.
okay.
It has exciting. I
Okay.
like the movie because it's interesting and in my person generates a lot of emotions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can say personally, I felt a lot of emotions with this movie. That
Yeah.
would
I
be
feel.
one way to say personally, or yes, not in my person, but personally. Okay, very good. Anyone else who wants to talk about one movie in practice speaking? Any volunteer or victim?
Yo,
Okay,
ah, ahora víctima.
okay, Diana. Diana Romero.
Yes. The movie talk about cars.
Okay, the movie is about or
The
topic.
movie is the name is Cars. The movie.
Okay.
The movie is about the McQueen going to the Piston Cup.
Okay.
Want to win the Piston Cup.
He won because it's third person. One.
Yeah, he won to the win the Piston Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's set in Radiador Springs in Arizona.
Okay.
It's directed by John Lessett in the
Okay.
picture. The star in no sé cómo era bien como el estadio, no sé cómo se le puede llamar el de las carreras.
But the stars are like the famous actors that participated in the movie. For example, we had Will Smith, and in Cars is the
Okay.
person
Yeah.
who plays the voice,
The
who
person
gives the
is.
voice to the main
Okay.
character.
I don't
I
know
don't know who is
exactly.
the person. Don't worry. Okay.
I
But
don't know.
what does he play? What does he play there? What is his role in the movie?
In the, ¿cómo sea? ¿Qué es lo que hace o cómo?
McQueen.
Sí, ¿no?
What does he do?
And he uh, compete with other cars for the
Piston Cup. Yes.
coming. Um,
One of the
in
best scenes takes place where? Number 6.
yeah, when the game in the last part the movie, the compiten o ya están corriendo. I don't know.
They are in the race. That's a race.
They are in the race for the cup, and the McQueen now win because the other car
The perfect crash.
crash. Yes.
Remember to use third person, so the other car crashes. It crashes. And then what happens?
He returned for the car, the other car, in the Queen, no, sí, King, el Raya, no, el Rey. It has happy surprise, sad end.
Happy surprise or sad ending? We have 3 options.
In the is sad and is conmovida, and I don't know, is happy
moving. We could say that it's moving something. When something, yes, when something makes you feel sad or makes you feel anxious, that it's moving. Okay.
Moving. Oh, okay. Thank you.
It has a moving. Yes.
Yeah. I like the movie because it's one of favorite movie, and and different the picture and the Disney picture is favorite, but the cars is nice for me.
Okay,
I don't know.
thank you.
The 3 movies.
Okay, thank you so much. Just some observations. Remember to add the S. He races, he wants, he helps with S, third person, and negative. How did you create the negative? He no ganó, pasado. You said he not win.
He didn't. He doesn't.
Yes, he didn't win.
Oh,
yes. He didn't win. Correct. Okay. So that is something that when we talk, probably you can write and you can answer your book because you know the instruction. But when you want to talk, to develop a story, that is a different process. That's why we need to practice talking, not writing a story. Okay,
thank you.
So thank you. Let's continue here. We have reported speech, my favorite movie quotes, and we are going to check your answers, all right? You are going to tell me who said those things. For reported speech, we can use 2 verbs. The verbs that we could use are here. Work in pairs, complete, said, or told, okay? We can use said or told depending on the structure of the movie, of the quote. Number 1, who? A dog. I have a feeling we aren't in Kansas anymore. What verb do you use here? Said or told? What did you
Say,
write?
Say.
say,
Okay. So remember that when you have one object, let's see.
told,
Mm-hmm. Tell plus object. And say doesn't need anything else. If you have the verb say, you don't need anything else. But if you have the verb tell, tell needs an object. Tell me, please. Tell your mother, tell your sister, tell your friend. So you need an object. You tell to someone. We don't need the preposition, but it's just to specify that we need the verb tell and one person that receives the message. In this case, the dog receives the message. So we say who tell. In this case is past, who told. Who told the dog, I guess we aren't in Kansas anymore. Any clues? Any clues? A or B?
B.
B, letter B.
Yes, yes, B. It's letter B. Okay, thanks. Please, Andrea Lisset, could you please read number 2?
Who say?
Hello, Alice said, could you please continue? Number 2, who said Greek is good? Andrea is not there. Okay, Alejandro Perez, could you please continue?
¿Digo la dos, la respuesta o
Yes,
la tres?
yes,
Ah,
I want you to read and read the answer.
letter B.
Yeah, I want you to read, please.
Sí.
Necesito que
Ah,
practiquen, chicos, que lean completas las oraciones.
who say great is good? Michael Douglas is Wall Street.
In Wall Street.
In Wall
Okay,
Street.
maybe, yes, I will say that. Number 3, please continue. Roberto?
Uh, who told it's alive?
Okay, in this case, one, do you have an object, a person who receives the message?
Uh,
Who, who told a quién?
um,
No hay
animal.
objeto. If you don't have an object, we
say,
are going to use the verb yes. We're going to use the verb
Who say?
who say. Correct. Okay, so here we write
Uh,
that. The pronunciation, it's e. This combination AI, it's pronounced e. So you pronounce it like set, like in Spanish if you are thirsty. You have that. Tienes sed. Así se pronuncia igual. Set. Okay. Let's continue, please.
Who said it's alive?
Mhm.
The crazy doctor in
Yes, in
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yes, it's alive. Okay, thank you. Next one, Juan Antonio. Is Juan Antonio? No. Lisbeth, number 4, please.
Okay. Who told engineers in Houston we have a problem?
Yes.
Or
Who told? In this case, you have object, engineers. In this case, we can use the verb told because you have a person that receives the message. Liz,
letter A,
thank you, Liz. So A or B?
Harrison Ford in Star Wars?
What is the correct answer?
A.
A, correct. Please, Eduardo Ramos, number 5.
Yes. Who say, who say, I want to be alone. He
Mhm.
say, Greta Garbo in Grand Hotel.
Okay, who said? And finally, Emmanuel, number 6.
Who say the policeman? I think. Who told?
Yes, who told?
Who told a policeman? I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Okay, and who told? A or B?
A.
A. We can check your answers.
Uh,
Um, we can check your answers right here.
B.
What do you think? I don't know. Page
I don't know.
166. I don't know, sorry. So, page 166. No viene, ¿verdad?
No.
Okay. Well, you can Google it later. To be honest, I don't know the answers, but we could Google it later.
Es la 146
Ah, okay. Thanks.
y
So
es la
100.
letter A. Es la A.
Perfect. Yes. Uh-huh. So you have B, 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 A, 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 A. Okay. And that is for reported speech. Now we are going to see lesson 2. The topic for lesson 2 is fame. All right. And here for fame, we have a short description or a short article about the internet fame. Okay. So please, Diana Laura, could you please start reading?
Tip. Internet fame.
Mhm.
The internet has changed the meaning of celebrity. In the past, you had to be a successful actor, musician, or the able
Question.
to be famous. Now all you need is the internet. Yeah.
Continue. Continue, please.
No. Ay, profa, no sé leer la fecha.
You read the first 2 numbers. What is this number?
1968.
19. And then the second pair, 68. 1968. Okay.
In 1968, artist Andy Warhol said in the future, everyone will famous for 15 minutes.
Mhm.
With the invention of the internet and YouTube, maybe that time is now.
Thank
Now
you,
a
Diana.
kid with a webcam can become an instant movie star, and even a king with a groupie face can make their over famous. When
Okay,
that
thank you, Diana. So, please repeat just this pronunciation now. When you have OW, we pronounce now, okay?
now, okay.
Thank you. Please, Alejandro Perez.
Yes. ¿En dónde era? Perdón.
When
When Tabata Gunderson's brother posted a photo of their cat on the internet, Grumpy Cat became an overnight internet sensation and later a company worth more than 1 million.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Um,
Ajá, ¿cómo se dice?
we have
Overnight? Overnight?
overnight.
Y
And do you understand that expression? That cat became an overnight internet sensation.
que se volvió una sensación en internet, ¿no? Pero en la noche.
But what do you think that it's overnight? That expression, it's because you go to sleep and the next day that is a sensation.
Como de la noche a la mañana,
Overnight
¿no?
is that's right, yes. That is
Ok.
the expression. It's very, very quickly. Okay, thank you.
¿Y cómo?
Please, yes,
¿Sensación
this
o
one.
cómo? Ajá,
Sensation,
sensation, ok.
sensation, yes. Thank you. And let's finish with Roberto, please. Roberto, are you there?
Sorry, es que estaba en internet. ¿Dónde voy?
Okay. Davi?
Tabby Kingston was 20 years old when
12. She was 12. Ya le
12
cambiaste la edad.
sorry, 12 years old when she started her own fashion blog. But she quickly famous herself on the front page of the newspaper and magazine and interviewed it on
Interviewed.
television. Interviewed on
Mhm.
television. These are the new superstar celebrity of the future.
Okay, so any questions about vocabulary?
Mm, mm, mm. No,
No.
no,
Here, please just repeat the pronunciation found herself.
found herself.
Found. Yes. Observe that if you have OW or OU, we pronounce ow, now, or found. So that combination, it's not always the same. But if you have O or if you have OW, for example, in the word out or in the word how, the pronunciation is going to be ow, correct? Yes.
Okay.
So let's continue. Here we have a short article about fame and how people can make money or can become a celebrity overnight, really, really quick. Can you tell me another case of one person that became famous? Do you know another example?
No.
Really? Internet is full of those things. Now, did you know Bárbara de Regil before? ¿Conocían o sabían quién era Bárbara de Regil antes?
No.
Yes.
No, she was famous, but she wasn't popular or that popular. And now, you know, or everyone connects the name with her. Any other case, any other example? Not really? Okay, I have another question for you. The question is, if you could be famous, where is that? Here, if you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? Think about it, please. Prepare your answer. If you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? For dancing, for singing, or for being the best engineer, for doing an experiment, or writing a book? What would you like to be famous for? Think about it. Ready? Is the question clear?
Yes.
Do you understand the question? Do you all understand the question?
Yes. Yes.
And the rest? ¿El resto, chicos? ¿Está clara la pregunta?
Yes.
Yes.
Ok. Ready? ¿Ya tienen su respuesta? Not yet. If you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? Just give me a short answer. And you can say, I would like to be famous for, and then if you have a verb, you can use ing for inventing something. Or I would like to be famous for being a good singer. Or for being, ya observaron que después de for tenemos ing. I would like to be famous for being a model. I don't know. Okay? So you tell me one answer. Let's start with Andrea Lisette. If you could be famous, what would you be famous for?
I would like to be famous for dancing.
Okay, thank you. Roberto, what would you like to be famous for?
Uh, I would like to be famous for a good inventor.
Okay, invention. Please, Ale Guerrero.
I would not like to be famous
Yes.
because I don't like to be acosado. How?
In this case, we say stuck, como chased or stuck. Stuck.
Stuck?
Mhm.
Uh,
I
mm,
wouldn't is negative. I wouldn't like to be famous.
I wouldn't like to be famous because I don't like to. ¿Cuál es, loco?
To be stuck.
Stuck. Stuck.
Mhm.
To be stuck.
Or followed.
I don't like to have a perfect image.
Image.
Mhm.
I wouldn't like. Okay. Thank you. Alejandro Perez.
I would like to be famous because I am a good writer.
Okay. I would like
I would like
to be famous for
for
being a good writer.
ah
Yes. Thanks. Okay. If you observe, we are talking about things that are not happening. Todas estas son Posibles opciones. ¿Pero ustedes son famosos? Bueno, yo no soy famosa. ¿Alguien tal vez sí es famoso?
Yes.
¿Alguien tiene 1 millón de seguidores?
No.
No.
No. Yo ya tengo 50 seguidores en YouTube. Okay, so in this case, we're talking about things that are not happening. They are just suppositions. We're going to listen to some answers that are similar for the same question. Please, Alejandro Perez, read the instruction.
Yes. Listen to 8 people answering the question. Put the number on the speaker next to the thing they mention.
Okay, so we are going to listen to 8 people. They are talking about the same question. If you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? If they mention, I want to be an artist, that is number 1. And then the topic that they mention that mentions number 2, and so on. Let's listen and number, okay, on your books.
Unit 12. Recording S12.4. 1.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be art. I love painting. And if I had more time...
So, number 1 is artist. And then you continue listening to people.
I would love to paint seriously. If I could have a painting in a museum, I'd be really happy.
2.
I'd be a famous politician. If I were a politician, I would try to change the world, to stop all these wars and do something to help poor countries. You know.
Okay, what is number 2?
Politician
Politician.
Oh,
You know,
or president?
I think it's terrible how most politicians don't seem to worry about things like that.
3.
If I could do anything, I think I'd be a famous soccer player or something like that. Imagine if you scored a goal for your country in the World Cup. That would be such a good feeling. You would remember something like that forever.
4.
Number 3?
Soccer player or athlete?
Fighter.
Athlete.
Yes. Soccer player or athlete?
Athlete.
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 Yes, athlete.
4.
I'd love to sing. If I could be famous for anything, I think I'd be a singer or a dancer. I'd love to be a famous dancer.
Number 4?
Singer or dancer?
Correct.
I'm terrible at both of those things. I can't sing or dance. I guess that's why we have dreams, isn't it?
5.
I would love to be a famous writer or poet, like Shakespeare. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to write a book that people all around the world want to read, to be able to speak to people in that way. Yes, I'd like to be remembered as a great writer, but I don't think that'll happen.
6.
If I could be famous for anything, well, let me see. For being beautiful. That would be good. One of those beautiful actresses who wins at the Oscars. If I were famous, I would be rich, live in a big house, and have all those clothes. Oh, yes, that would be nice.
7.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be for inventing something, like a medicine or a cure for cancer. Not for being an actor or a musician. If I invented something that made people's lives better, that would be good.
8.
What would I want to be famous for? I wouldn't like to be famous. If I were famous, I wouldn't be happy. No, I prefer just being me, thank you.
That is like Alejandra Guerrero, right? So what is number 5? Number 5?
Writer.
Writer. When you have WR, don't pronounce W, just the R. So we say writer, writer. No suena la W, es muda. Writer, yes. Number 6?
An actress.
You sure?
A model.
A model, yes, a model. Number 7?
Scientific or inventor.
We pronounce scientist.
Scientist.
Scientist. Yeah, scientist. Like dentist, scientist. Okay. And number 8?
No, que dijo que no quería, ¿no?
¿Y ahora en inglés?
He said don't famous.
We need subject, he said, y esto es reported speech. ¿Qué es lo que él dijo? He said he
say that he wouldn't like this person.
Observe. I tell you, I don't want to be famous. Es presente. No quiero ser famoso. Cuando reportamos eso, ¿cómo se cambia?
Pasado.
A pasado. He said he
wouldn't.
Pasado. Para will sí utilizamos would, pero para
sí. He say he
could
become
like it.
pasado. Negativo pasado. He didn't want to be
didn't. Sí, he say he didn't become the famous. Famous.
Sí, si tenemos reported speech de presente, lo decimos o lo repetimos en pasado.
Pasado.
He said he didn't want to be famous. Okay, so now what we're working here is not reported speech. It's something that we don't know that is happening or something that is not happening. And we just imagine, we suppose, we make, podemos decir que solo estamos suponiendo que pasaría, pero sabemos que no va a pasar. Es algo muy poco probable, que de pronto yo sueño con ser famosa, no sé, un cantante de rap famoso y de la noche a la mañana ya. Es algo muy poco probable, entonces vamos a completar. Listen and complete the sentences. Here. Listen again, but now you complete.
Unit 12. Recording S12.4.
Ahorita me escribes tu pregunta en el chat, por favor, en lo que hacemos esto.
1.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be art. I love painting. And if I had more time, I would love to paint seriously. If I could have a painting in a museum, I'd be really happy.
2.
I'd be a famous politician. If I were a politician, I would try to change the world, to stop all these wars and do something to help poor countries. You know, I think it's terrible how most politicians don't seem to worry about things like that.
3.
If I could do anything, I think I'd be a famous soccer player or something like that. Imagine if you scored a goal for your country in the World Cup. That would be such a good feeling. You would remember something like that forever.
4.
I'd love to sing. If I could be famous for anything, I think I'd be a singer or a dancer. I'd love to be a famous dancer. I'm terrible at both of those things. I can't sing or dance. I guess that's why we have dreams, isn't it?
5.
I would love to be a famous writer or poet, like Shakespeare. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to write a book that people all around the world want to read, to be able to speak to people in that way. Yes, I'd like to be remembered as a great writer. But I don't think that'll happen.
6.
If I could be famous for anything, well, let me see. For being beautiful. That would be good. One of those beautiful actresses who wins at the Oscars. If I were famous, I would be rich, live in a big house, and have all those clothes. Oh, yes, that would be nice.
7.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be for inventing something, like a medicine or a cure for cancer. Not for being an actor or a musician. If I invented something that made people's lives better, that would be good.
8.
What would I want to be famous for? I wouldn't like to be famous. If I were famous, I wouldn't be happy. No, I prefer just being me, thank you.
Did you finish?
No.
Hi, did you complete?
No.
Do you want to listen again?
Yes.
Okay, we'll listen again and we check your answer.
Unit 12. Recording S12.4. 1.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be art. I love painting. And if I had more time, I would love to paint seriously. If I could have a painting in a museum, I'd be really happy.
2.
All right, for number 1, if I had more
Time.
More time.
yeah, if I had more time, but I don't have time. Number 2, please.
I will try to change the world.
Famous politician. If I were a politician, I would try to change the world, to stop all these wars and do something to help poor countries. You know, I think it's terrible how most politicians don't seem to worry about things like that.
3.
If I could do anything, I think I'd be a famous soccer player or something like that. Imagine if you scored a goal for your country in the World Cup. That would be such a good feeling. You would remember something like that forever.
In the World Cup.
World Cup.
World Cup, correct.
World Cup.
World Cup.
4.
I'd love to sing. If I could be famous for anything, I think I'd be a singer or a dancer. I'd love to be a famous dancer. I'm
I love
I love to
sing.
sing.
The same.
Thank you.
I'm terrible at both of those things. I can't sing or dance. I guess that's why we have dreams, isn't it?
5.
I would love to be a famous writer or poet, like Shakespeare. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to write a book that people all around the world want to read, to be able to speak to people in that way. Yes, I'd like to be remembered as a great writer. But I don't think that'll happen.
Writer.
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 Great
Writer.
writer. Yes. Remember, we don't pronounce W. So it's super easy. You pronounce writer.
Writer.
Mhm. Next, number 6.
6.
If I could be famous for anything, well, let me see. For being beautiful. That would be good. One of those beautiful actresses who wins at the Oscars. If I were famous, I would be rich, live in a big house, and have all those clothes. Oh, yes, that would.
Rich.
Rich. Rich.
Yes, rich. If you see, the pronunciation is not rich, it's rich. Rich.
Rich.
Yes, rich. 7. And you were right. She wanted to be an actor or actress. Yo les dije model, pero
Would be
bien.
nice.
7.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be for inventing something, like a medicine or a cure for cancer. Not for being an actor or a musician. If I invented something that made people's lives better, that would be good.
8.
Life.
Live. Live.
And the noun is life. But when you have F at the end, the plurals change with P. So we say people's lives. Lives.
Lives.
Okay.
Lives.
And finally, number 8. If I were famous, I wouldn't be. Do you remember?
Happy.
Yes.
Yes,
I
happy.
wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy. Okay. Now, I want you to really observe that we are not talking about real situations. We are just making suppositions, things that are not happening and things that are imaginary. They aren't real. So we express these things with a different tense. En español le llamamos subjuntivo a algo que no está pasando. Si yo tuviera tiempo, si metiera un gol, si fuera rico o millonario, entonces eso que no está pasando en inglés, también lo utilizamos. Y es mucho más fácil en inglés porque solamente tenemos que ponerlo en pasado. ¿Me pueden dar un ejemplo? Can you give me an example of one thing that is not happening? Aquí de la 1 a la 8, todas tienen ejemplos de algo que no está pasando. If I had more time. No tengo tiempo, pero si tuviera tiempo. En el número 2, if I were a politician. Ese es subjuntivo. ¿Qué otro?
La 6.
Number 6.
If I were famous.
Very good. If I were famous. Number 7.
I were famous. If I invented.
Si yo inventara algo. ¿Qué es lo que hacemos? Estamos utilizando casi la misma forma del pasado. If I were. La diferencia es que el verbo to be siempre en subjuntivo va a ser were. No, normalmente decimos I was, when I was a child, pero eso sí es pasado. Pero si yo te digo, si yo fuera niña, if I were a child. Entonces, esto es lo único que va a cambiar. Vamos de este lado, tienen la explicación. Aquí. Look at exercise 5A and complete the table. We use if and the present subjunctive. Ese es subjuntivo, que se parece muchísimo al pasado, porque el verbo va a ponerse en pasado. If I, el verbo have, en pasado. If I had more time, if I were famous, if I were a politician. Okay? Eso es si yo fuera, si yo tuviera. And then that is the thing that you expect that would happen. Es lo que creen que pasaría. No va a pasar, no está pasando. Es solo algo que podría pasar en otro universo del mega de Marvel, ¿no? I would love to paint. Acá tenemos de nuevo. Negativo.
Would.
Wouldn't. Yes. That is for the person that if I were famous, I wouldn't be happy. Es el que no le gusta la fama. I wouldn't be happy. And if I were a politician, I would try to change the world. ¿Ok? Entonces, para estas suposiciones, hablar de cosas que imaginamos, que nos gustarían que pasara, utilizamos hypothetical conditional. También le llamamos second conditional. Puede ser second conditional or hypothetical conditional. And please, let's complete the rule. We use hypothetical conditional when, ¿cuándo? For real or for imaginary situations?
Imaginary situation.
Yes, we use hypothetical conditionals for imaginary situations. For example, if I were famous, but I'm not famous, I would use hypothetical conditionals for likely or unlikely situations in the future. Likely significa probable or unlikely.
Unlikely.
Unlikely. Yes, when something is very, very, very hard to become real. Okay? And the example, if I didn't have to work tomorrow, pero sí tengo que trabajar, I would sleep all day. Okay? So we use this to talk about imaginary situations, things that are not happening, things that are very unlikely to happen. Okay? ¿Hasta aquí vamos bien? ¿Tomaron nota?
Yes.
Yes.
And remember, for this week, you need to complete lesson 1. Si ya no completaron la lección 1, complétenla en lesson 2. Vamos a hacer este ejercicio y ustedes completan lo demás. Underline the correct alternative. Recuerden, necesitamos subjuntivo y would. So, for number 1, if I
would. Where?
Yo sería o si yo fuera.
Where?
If I were.
Where?
If I were a famous soccer player, ahora sí. I would live in a big house. Number 2, if she
works,
se pronuncia con T. Ya vieron que la condición if va acompañada del subjuntivo. Parece al pasado. Es la misma forma del pasado, solo el verbo to be va a ser were, ¿ok? Pero de lo demás todo es pasado. I am sure she'd be more successful. If I played more sports, I would feel or felt.
I will feel.
Yes,
Felt.
infinitive. When you have the modal would, the next one is infinitive. We don't change any verb. Number 4, if I
Had.
Yes, if I had the day off, I would stay in bed. Number 5, if I
Didn't work.
If I didn't work or study, I would be bored. I don't think so. Number 6, I would read more if
I
if I
didn't have.
didn't have TV. Okay. And 7, I would
Used.
Use.
Use.
use or use.
Use.
Yes,
Use.
I would use my bicycle more if I didn't have a car. ¿Vamos bien?
Yes.
Perfect. Ok. ¿Tienen dudas? ¿Completamos el siguiente ejercicio o lo hacen en casa?
No lo completamos, teacher.
De una vez.
Sí, de una vez.
Right. So, let's clear this. ¿Sí? Y ya nada más les queda pendiente esto, la de right.
Okay.
Use the prompts to make questions with hypothetical conditions. Ahora son preguntas. Yo creo que lo hacemos en otra página en blanco. Okay. So, number 1, that is the example. Could you please read the example? Could someone please read the example?
If you had no money,
Continue.
if you had no money, what would you do?
Yes. So question number 1, if you had
No money. Money.
money,
What would you do?
what would you do? Thanks. That is question number 1. What is question
Yes.
number 2?
Yeah.
If you can't,
Now, you have, if you, ¿qué necesitas?
If you have dinner. No.
Presente, ¿qué necesitamos? Subjuntivo. If you
could.
Yes. If you could have dinner. With any
Two
living people.
Whom would choose?
Yes, whom, and the question, would you choose? Whom would you choose? Number 3, that's a good question. Number 3.
If you could do any job, what would you do?
Yes, if you could, tenemos subjuntivo, do any job, what would you do? Number 4.
If you had more time, what would you do?
It will be like more free time, probably, because you always have 24 hours. If you had more free time, what would you do? What would you do? Number 5.
If I could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
Yes. And if you could.
If you.
One thing about yourself, what would you change? Good. Ok. De tarea, de todas formas, me contestan estas preguntas, por favor.
No.
¿Seguro? Claro que sí.
No,
y
¿por
les
qué?
queda entonces hacer el vocabulario. Todavía deben hacer aquí. Vocabulario, responder preguntas y completar el right. ¿Ok? Y de esta anterior creo que ya no queda nada. De esta ya no quedó nada pendiente. Ok. Entonces, así las preguntas de la lectura. Hagan sus preguntas de lectura, vocabulario y contesten las preguntas para practicar. El domingo, o creo que el lunes. El lunes se cierra la plataforma.
El lunes.
Y lección 2. ¿Ok? ¿Dudas, chicos?
No.
No, déjenme
No.
pasar lista. Paso aquí. ¿Cómo se sienten hoy miércoles?
Un sueño.
Los dos.
¿No se sienten como
Por
el
tres.
domingo?
Sí.
Okay.
Siempre.
Alejandro is here? No. Elio, Juan Carlos Daza, Juan Antonio. Entraba y salía. Ya, se perdió. Lisbeth.
Here.
Alejandra.
Here.
Guerrero. Ebert Hasib. Roberto.
Here.
Emanuel.
Here.
Alejandro Pérez.
Here.
Eduardo Ramos.
Here.
Diana Romero.
Here.
Diana Evelyn. Andrea Sánchez. Cristian Sandoval. Diana Laura. Luis Torres. Andrea Lizeth.
Here.
Profe, ya no me escuchó.
Ok, es Diana Laura, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ok, chicos, también necesito que participen más en las próximas clases. Nos vemos entonces lunes para lección 3. Completen
Yes.
sus actividades. Thank you so
No.
much. Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend. Take
Bye.
care.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
teacher.